what it does. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and also welcome back to episode 4 of Simeji's TV Land. And today we are building the friend's apartment, specifically Monica and Rachel's apartment. I think the apartment belongs to Monica, but Rachel moved in later. Anyway, so I've had this really cool idea, right, for the series. We're going to create sitcom towers. So basically, I was thinking we create like one lot, and it's essentially like an apartment block, because most of the sitcoms that we watch are in apartments. So like, we could do How I Met Your Mother, we could do Big Bang Theory, we could do Two Broke Girls, we could do Seinfeld. Was that an apartment? I can't remember. But anyway, and then bottom floor, we could do like Central Park if we want to do. We could do the bar from How I Met Your Mother, which could be quite fun. So I haven't done anything to the bottom floor yet. I've just built it so that we obviously have our foundation for the friend's apartment, which we're doing in this episode. So we'll get to whatever's going on the bottom floor later on. But, okay, so Monica and Rachel's apartment is basically a 2-bedroom. And after building this, I've realized how small it really is. So I had a look at some house plans online. Obviously the set changes a lot. There's not stuff like where the audience sits, where the stage is. So we had to improvise a little bit there as well. But here you can kind of see the plan. I also put the Chandler and Joey's plan on the other side. The main thing about their apartment, obviously, as we know, is that it is the purplest of purple. So I think I couldn't find the exact right color I wanted to use, but this is about as close as we could get. And the same with the doors. I think I changed them a few times, but I stuck with these green ones for now. And then the little kitchen area is obviously bricks, and as you can see, it's really small, so it's quite a bit tight. So there you can see we're changing the doors. I found this purple door that, well, I guess it's gray, but when you put it in, it kind of matches the purple, so that's fine. Cool. And in the bathroom, they also have a bit of purple, but it's got like purple at the top and tile at the bottom, which we don't have in game, and I also don't have CC of that. So I've just gone with this halftone purple wallpaper. I don't know what it is. And then both their bedrooms are kind of pink, but Rachel's quite a bit of a darker pink, and Monica's is quite light. So I just went with a bit of a shade difference there. Then their kitchen is obviously blue. Now, there's a lot of hours here that you don't see of me trying to find the right cabinets for the kitchen. I couldn't, so I went with these ones, which is also custom content that I downloaded. And yes, I know that makes it a lot more difficult to download this house from the gallery, but I will upload it to Sims File Share, and there will be a link in the description where you can download it. So hopefully it won't be too bad. And I don't think I used too much CC, so you should still be able to replace the items that are CC in your game if you can't access CC, but I just had to make it work somehow, you know? Then they've got this cute like blue cabinet at the top, and I don't love this one because I think it's like a jewelry display case or something, not from Businesses and Hobbies, from Get to Work maybe. I can't remember, but I did eventually end up replacing that because it just doesn't feel quite right. And then their window is quite small actually, so went through a few different window options. I feel like this is the closest one, and obviously I did take some creative liberties, if you will. So I went with these blinds that I feel like fits the kind of 90s vibe really well, even if it's not exactly what they had in the apartment. And I was trying to find the perfect table. So what they actually have here is like a small table with a microwave and what was the other thing, like a scale or something. And then I added some Christmas decorations just because it feels like such a cozy Christmas show, and I think a lot of people rewatch it around this time of the year. So I added the little Santa Claus. And then here we go, I replaced the shelves. So again, open shelves, but I think these work a lot better. And they've got a very cluttered kitchen. I mean, a very cluttered apartment, but the kitchen specifically is really cluttered. So I feel like this helped a bit with just making space for more crap to go on, essentially. And here I'm just like going through trying to get as much stuff as I can possibly get on those shelves, essentially. I mean, it gets to a point where it doesn't even matter what it is anymore. You just want to get it like covered. Personally, I'm a big clutterer in game, probably in real life too. But when I make stuff in Sims, when I build, I do love going overboard with the clutter. It just makes it feel like it's a lot more lived in, you know, as opposed to like a brand new house that you're moving in for the first time. And I think especially if you don't do like a big mansion, or it's just like middle class, or it's younger people moving into their first apartment, you obviously want that clutter because nobody's clean at that age. I'm sure there's people, but I personally was not clean at that age. It was just messy all the time. So I think that's just a nice way to add some detail and make it feel a bit more lived in, you know? Also, I love these boards. I can't remember where they're from, but I think I got them on CurseForge. Obviously, I'll add all of that in so you can download it, but oh, it's so great. And then just some more decorations to make it feel like something's happening in this house. And then I wanted to add this like towel to the stove, but it also wasn't working very well. Like I couldn't get it to place on the handle. It was just floating mid-air halfway through. But yeah, I think that's nice. I love those aprons. I always seem to just gravitate towards them and use them every time I'm making a kitchen. And they have this, I don't know if it's like a little side table or a shelf, but I use this blue bookshelf to just add that detail in on the side there. There you can see I got rid of the towel because I was like, okay, I get it. You don't want to be there. So I gave up. And they've got this little messy carpet, which I quite liked. And that's probably the closest we'll get to it. I think it's the perfect carpet for there. And then I love those flowers. I don't remember where I got them either. I'm sorry. But they're great. And then they've got like a bajillion different chairs in this kitchen. The only problem is I think like the kitchen table might be too big. So I wanted to find something that's like still matches what they have, but is a little bit smaller so that people can actually move around in the kitchen. And then pro tip, just go top view when you need to place stuff in the right space, if you didn't know about that, which I'm sure you did, but there you go. And then yeah, at first I was like, should I do 2 chairs that are the same and then do 2 that kind of don't match? But this is what I ended up doing. And then I noticed in some images that this wall is like goes in further in some images and then it's closer in other images. So I just closed it up a little bit, especially because I don't know what else we would place there because there's not a lot of stuff in that area. So yeah, and then I really like this bookcase. Look, if it was up to me, I would just cover all the walls in bookshelves all the time because especially when you like don't know what to put against the wall, it's the perfect kind of go-to. And then they've got a 90s TV, so I was trying to go through all of them and see which one's the closest. I think we ended up with a black one, because they do have a black one. I wanted to do my custom content ones, because I've got such great vintage TVs, but then the one in game was just kind of the closest to what they have, so I just ended up using that. And then some more clutter, keys, a remote. Okay, next up we need to get the perfect couch. They have quite a glamorous couch and I wanted to do something a bit more cozy, but obviously still match them. So I kind of went with this one, which again, and get some cute throw pillows. And then they've got like the single chair on the side. So I also added a throw pillow to that and then added more pillows to the couch, obviously because the cozier the better. They're always hanging out on the couch. You want it to be like just a comfy spot. And then they've got a very strange carpet where I think this is the closest one I found that kind of matches. And they've got quite a big coffee table, but we are in the Sims, so I felt like it was a bit overwhelming. But I couldn't think of anything else, so it was still like a big brown square, which is essentially what they have. They have a glass side table on this couch, and then the chair has like this cute half round table situation. So I used that round table, and they've got like a very student-y painting thing behind there, and I couldn't really figure out what to do, so I put this tuna poster there. Just bear with me, okay? I think it's kind of funny. And then just more clutter everywhere, some magazines. I saw they had some candles on this table, and as much as I love that like stacked candle, I know it's not really sign of the times and whatnot. So I got these more basic ones and then just added a little table there with a plant, or maybe some flowers. And then I wasn't sure what to do in this area because at first I thought maybe it was like a study desk, an office desk. But then the more I looked, it seemed like it was just kind of like an accent table. So it took me a second to figure it out. But they also have another sofa chair there. So I mean, there's not a lack of seating in this house, if that's what you were worried about. And then a little side table, and then, oh, you see there I used an accent table. And then they just got a ton of frames, so I just kept adding frames. It's quite nice that we've remember in the beginning when it was just base game and like a few expansions, there was never any frames in the game. Now we actually have so many options. Obviously some of them are ones I downloaded, but it's just nice to have a lot of options now. I also really love this book stack with the plant, and then I added some curtains there, which also again took so long. Like, why can they not just make curtains that doesn't immediately
attach to a wall or a window? Like, I want to free place curtains. Sometimes you just want to put a curtain in the middle of the room, you know?
So we did that, added a little red light. It's a bit of an outside light, but it matches the light that they have there quite well. And then here you can see I replaced the coffee table with a more rectangular one, but it just felt like it fit a bit better because I'm really worried about gameplay with that big square table. And see, now we're getting to the part where I had to improvise, because usually this is where the audience sits and we don't actually know what's on that wall. I think there's been a scene here or there where you can kind of see it through the bathroom door or a bedroom door or something, but it's a bit difficult to figure out what's there. So I thought this is the perfect place for a little office area. Get that old school computer in there. Oh, I miss those computers. It always reminds me of when I was little. There was this Santa Claus game that my mom got me. And I can't even remember what the game was about, but it was almost like a mystery game that you had to try and solve. And I always try and find the name of it, but I never seem to find it. I just remember it being the most fun. I think I was 8 or something at the time, which I guess is kind of showing my age. But anyway, then what's next? Sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, yes, so this little corner had a space heater, some coats, and then we've got another little table area by the front door. I don't know why they have so much seating in this apartment. Well, I guess they have a lot of friends. Wow, now I feel dumb. But okay. Anyway, so I guess the seating is for their 10,000 friends. And then I added this cute little shelf with the tulips and some mugs. And then I saw a guitar in one of the scenes, so I added a guitar. And then the bathroom. So the only scenes that there really are of the bathroom is, well, I mean, not in the show, I mean that I could find online, was Chandler and Monica both hanging out in the bathroom a lot. So I just used that as inspiration. They do have which again, the TV ratio does not make sense because the actual house plan only allows for essentially 2x3 tiles, right? And as we know, a bath is 2 tiles, but they have a shower next to the bath, which would make it 3 tiles. So the logic is not logicking, but here we go. So I didn't put in a shower, just that's what I'm trying to say. Heads up, no shower, just a bath in this bathroom. Obviously, you can add a shower if you do end up downloading it and wanting to play with it. I always feel especially when I'm playing Sims, in my gameplay, I prefer a shower because, the Sims just tend to go and sit in the bath when they have nothing to do. It's almost as bad as the computer, just going to the computer, or when they get the ball of clay, which, by the way, is my literal worst nightmare when I'm playing the game, when they find a ball of clay, because then for the rest of the game they are just going to be playing with that ball of clay and doing nothing else. So the bath is the computer and the ball of clay. They tend to just go and have a bubble bath at any given moment. And after that little rant, we're on to Monica's bedroom. So it's very cutesy, very glam girl, very almost European vibes. So I added this cute floral duvet, which I love because it's so, I don't know, dainty and pretty. And then just some extra pillows. I wonder if they're satin pillows. I feel like she would be a satin pillow girl, right? And then, because of that, step on the outside, I couldn't get this closet to sit right. And I really, really wish that would stop happening. So the closet took me a while to get matched. Speaking of matched, she's got mismatched bedside tables. Fun fact, don't know if anyone noticed that before, but one is like an old school, vintagey, might have gotten from a friend of a friend of a friend of ours. And the other one is like this fancy pants marble circular side table. There it goes, me in the closet again. This closet is driving me insane.
Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
But I think eventually I figured it out. Yeah, this one worked. Now, don't look too closely, but it worked. And then... oh, she's got this like little green bench situation. So I wanted to add that in. Then I added this cute little table for her to sit and do her makeup at or whatever she wants to do. And added some chairs there. I mean, she's really got like a very Victorian style. And then a side table, but do you guys ever find it weird that the side table is like gigantic compared to some of the sofas and chairs in this game? Like, it blows my mind. Just give us some little coffee tables, some little side tables, little coffee tables, little everything tables.
Not everything needs to be so oversized, DA.
Okay, it's fine. I'm calm. And then I added this chair and I added that cute little basket. Everyone loves a basket, don't lie. And then a cork board so that you can pin her little things on it. And a tote bag. The tote bags exist in the 90s. I don't know. No one laugh at me because I can't remember. Then onto Rachel's bedroom. Hers is quite tight, so lucky that The Sims did that update where you can get in from the one side and move over to the other side, because otherwise Ross might have had some trouble in here. But hers is also like a little bit Victorian. Maybe that was just like a thing back then. But oh, I forgot to add the window back into Monica's bedroom, so I just did that here, and then got them all some cute curtains. And then back to Rachel's bed. Okay. And then she's got this nice shelf on the side, which I added this one in. I would have liked something, again, smaller. We're not going to freak out. It would have been nice to have something smaller, but I don't mind this shelf. It's cute. It's a little bit like banged up, so it looks like it was like given to her by someone. And then I know I shouldn't be using any fairy core stuff, but I just cannot help myself, and I love this mirror, so I used it. And then just a little bit of paintings here and there. She's got this really nice big painting behind her bed, so I just added that in. And then added this flower in. She's got like a nice flower painting, but I couldn't find something else that's like quite similar, so I just used this one of this sunflowers. So I hope it's sunflowers. They're just real white. I know that there's a lot of moments in this video where I sound silly, and I just need you to bear with me, please. Then I added this laundry basket and a vanity because it's Rachel. Have you seen her? She must spend like at least a good amount of time in the morning getting ready. And to get that hair all done and dead, she needs a vanity is all I'm saying. I also saw this cool scene where she just had like a bajillion boxes in her room, so I thought that would be a nice thing to just add on for a bit of clutter. And I got this really cool storage box that I downloaded with like notebooks and all sorts of things. And then I feel like she's the kind of person who would have a breakfast tray, so I just wanted to add that. I mean, it's a small space, but that don't mean it shouldn't be glamorous. So we made it glamorous, baby. And then some plants, some books, a little hair dryer, and then some slippers, because girl's gotta have her slippers, you know. And I can't remember what I did in this corner. I think there was also like a little table or something in the show, but it's such a small space, and obviously you want them to be able to use the door. So I just added these cute little accoutrements. I don't know if that's the right word. I also don't know why I just said it like a gangster, but you know. Cute plant, cute little light, and then I think... I added anything else to Rachel's room? Oh, just a lot of lights, because it do be dark up in there. And then obviously we need to get some access, so I did add the stairs there. They're not exactly like they are in the show because space is a bit limited, but I think these ones work quite well and they're quite similar to it. Now do not ask me where we're going to be putting the stairs to the second floor, because that feels like, you know, Monday's problem. So just a little bit of light. It is a pretty icky, grossy foyer situation they have, so I didn't do much there. And then just because we don't want to be all naked walled, I did put some wallpaper on this sitcom towers. But I do think we need to spend time actually doing the outside. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. And as I said, you can download the whole build in the description. I've been enjoying this series so far. I hope you have, and I'm really excited for the next one. See ya! Okay, bye.